We need to start today's episode off with a public apology. I realised as I was editing together yesterday's video that Kevin Thompson was in the Hearts team that we beat in the Champions League, and I didn't even acknowledge his existence. Now, to be fair, I am still hurting from that transfer request that he put in a couple of seasons ago. After I was so loyal for so long, I kind of expected a little bit of that loyalty back in return. So that's why I deliberately blanked his memory out of my mind. But I will be the bigger man. I'll acknowledge he played in that game. He played against us again a couple of games later and we beat him 4-0. So I feel like I'm vindicated in letting him go now. In other news, thank you for your support, Nick Dempsey Clark and Callum McCormack, two people who've joined the Kevolution by backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Lollujo. We're really, really close to 50 people backing the channel on Patreon now, which is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you very much for your support. If you too want to get involved, you get early access to all the episodes amongst other exciting bits and bobs on there as well. You can do all that at patreon.com/Lollujo. Hello and welcome to Season 22, Episode 5 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're away against champions Manchester City, and then we have a Champions League game against Zenit. We've already qualified from our Champions League group, so it's a chance to rotate the squad as much as we can when we've only got about 18 players. It's not going to be massively rotated, but this is how we've been doing since you were last with us. Lots and lots of green. As I mentioned in the intro, Kevin Thompson is still the Hearts goalkeeper. He played in this game when we beat them 4-0. There he is. Look, he's now played 33 times for Jamaica, valued at £7.75 million, which is why I haven't been able to sign him back, despite trying to a couple of times. You can see I still have fairly recent scout reports on him. That one is from about 11 months ago. I occasionally do a scout report just to give me an idea of how much it will cost to get him back. If it ever becomes reasonable, he will return. But yeah, he's been at Hearts for a little while. Single-handedly led them into the Champions League, into the title in the Scottish Premiership last year. It's all thanks to Big Kev. Well done, sir. So Premier League-wise, we're still unbeaten, 12 games in. We've won 10, drawn 2. We still don't have anyone in the top goal scorers charts because we're sharing the goals around nicely this year. But we are 8 points clear of holders Manchester City. And if we can beat them, saying that is a big if, I don't know, not really comfortable. If we can beat them today, then we're going to go 11 points clear of the holders. I mean, it won't quite, Stoke and Arsenal might win it, so it won't be a full 11-point gap. But that's a big, big gap for Man City to make up over the remaining sort of 2/3 of the season. So it puts us in a really strong position. But it is a big if because it's away from home. Last time we played Man City away from home in the league, they put 6 goals past us. The time before, when we played them at home, we put 6 goals past them. I've learnt-ish from the mistakes of last time. I'm not going to go to City and attack. We're not going to go full-on counter or defensive, though. I just don't think it suits our players. We're going to go and do standard, see how the game works out. If it looks like it's drifting one way or the other, we will adjust accordingly as the game goes on. So this is the 11 we're going to pick. We've got Igor in goal, a back four of Ribeiro, Eriksson, Uribe and Ndai. Fiorentini, Sedman and Ziyech in midfield with Oscar in behind Vendrick and Iribarren. The Holy Trinity are back together. They're playing well. Look at those average ratings in the last 5 games. And finally, they're scoring goals. Liam Wells is closing in on fitness again. He's going to be fully fit again from his torn hamstring in a couple of weeks' time. And James Burgess is still knocking around and still scoring goals as well. So everything's going well. I like the fact we're sharing the goals around nicely. That being said, if Iribarren wants to get 5 goals in today's game and start climbing up the top scorers charts, I'm not going to complain. I don't care if Man City have got players missing. He's the guy we need to watch. Vatany is Iribarren's big rival for Ballon d'Or, big rival for top scorer. I did notice, can we go back to that previous screen? How do we do that? I don't know how we go back to that opposition instructions. They've got 2 players in their team who are injured. Potential foot injury. That's just weird. Why would you go into the biggest game of the season with 2 players who are injured? That makes no sense at all. We're not going to argue. Hopefully we'll be able to exploit it and score a rather large number of goals. So, into the match. And, I mean, just attack the injured players. That's got to be the game plan. Who were the 2 with injuries? It was the right back and the left winger, I think. So, Just go down either flank. That's probably why they've not... Oh, Fiorentini scored in less than 5 minutes. We're 1-0 up away against City. Fiorentini already with his 6th goal of the season. He's right in the mix for our top scorer at the moment, which is not bad at all for a midfield player, a proper midfield player as well. It's not like when I say Oscar's scoring loads of goals from midfield and really he's a third striker most of the time. Fiorentini's playing as a box-to-box midfielder and gets forward so often. And yeah, he's taken a massive deflection there. But the City defenders just don't look at all bothered. I like it. I think we've got them psychologically beaten already, although they've just hit our post less than a minute later. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. What I was saying is, I guess that's why they're not bothered about their left back and right winger, or whichever way around it was, being injured, because they know we're not going to venture out onto the wings at any point. And there you go, Vatani with his 14th goal of the season equalises. We said he was the one to watch, and of course, as always, he scored against us. There have been a couple of times when I've had a little look to see if it was worth breaking our own transfer record to bring him in to compete with the strikers we've already got. But we did it with Iribarren when he was scoring against us regularly. We broke the bank to bring him to the club, but at that point we only had one world-class striker, so bringing Iribarren in gave us 2. Now we've got 2 world-class strikers and 2 of the hottest youngsters in world football, so we really don't need to bring him in. That being said, it might be worth just giving him £100 million to stop him from doing this to us once a year. Because he scored again. It's 2-1. It's a completely different type of goal. So I don't know what Igor was doing. He's diving around, but Vatani was behind him. That's just really poor goalkeeping. And 1-0 down. 2-1 down at half time. Brings the gap at the top of the league down to 5 points, which is not a disaster. What is a disaster is if it ends like this, it ends our ridiculously long unbeaten run that we've been on in all competitions for a long time, and stops us having an opportunity of an invincible season in our final year at Tottenham. It's 3-1 now, and it's shades of last year. It's all flooding back to me why we should have come here and defended, because City are just very, very good at home. I don't understand why they're not giving us more of a challenge in the early days of this season. If we just won a penalty, we have won a penalty. It's not all over. Oscar with a chance to bring it back to a 1-goal deficit. If we can come out of this game with a draw, we'll be very, very happy. So Oscar to score, he does. It's 3-2. And there you go, Oscar with his 7th goal of the season, rushing back to the centre circle. He's desperate to go and grab an equaliser. We're back in this. Come on, lads. If we can come out this with a 3-3 or, I don't know, a 6-6 draw. It'd be nice to do a 6-6 to somebody after we've had it happen to us so many times. Vatani, I think, has just hit the crossbar, just missing a chance for his hat-trick. Iribarren has not turned up again. The man is terrified of big games. It's getting to the point where we've got the best player in the world in our team, but I'm having to start considering dropping him for really big matches. We thought he'd got over it in the Champions League final last year when he single-handedly disassembled Barcelona, but Barcelona is a much smaller challenge than Man City in this world 22 years in the future. They've not won the Champions League for 30 years. They're not winning La Liga regularly. Man City have been a dominant team in Europe. I think they've won the Champions League 5 times in this save now. They're the holders of the Premier League, and Iribarren has just not turned up. Fiorentini with a chance to equalise, and he does! It's 3-3, 25 minutes to go, and the momentum is very much in our direction now. This game could go either way. Cliche bingo, tick it off quickly before the action starts again. But as it stands right now, you'd have to back us to go on and secure a winner. I don't know why Iribarren's not playing well. James Burgess is sat there ready to come on if Iribarren doesn't score from this move. And he draws a free kick. I don't know if there's perhaps going to be... I mean, that was a tackle from behind towards the edge of the area. Only it would have been harsh if it was a red card. But it's a yellow, and Sedman with the chance to score, and he does! With 20 minutes to go, it's 4-3 Spurs. We've come from 3-1 behind. And, go on, let's put 6 past them. I'm not going to drop back. I mean, that is just about as perfect a free kick as you will ever see. I love the fact that we've got both Sedman and Ziyech. They've got one has a left foot, they've both got 2 feet. But Sedman can hit free kicks with his left foot, Ziyech with his right foot. It means we're deadly from those situations all the time. Right, Aribi is not having a good game. Plotnikov's sat on the bench. Iribarren's not having a good game. Burgess is sat on the bench. The substitutions seem obvious to me. So Burgess is going to come on, and We'll push Vendrick further forward. Aribi, he can come off. Bring Plotnikov on. It's always a bit of a risk bringing Plotnikov into a big game because he is a little bit error prone. And Aribi has been ever present since we've been any good, but he's not having a great game today. So I guess Vatany has got him in his pocket a little bit. So let's just freshen things up a little bit. Plotnikov, world-class defender, might be able to just clonk the superstar he's up against a little bit. I don't know if we should perhaps be dropping to defensive, but I hate to do it with just a 1-goal lead. So they're going to come and score a couple more probably. There you go. That's a young... That Ryan Chappell is James Burgess 2 years earlier. He was a young lad who was at Leeds, who we very, very nearly signed, but didn't have the money to do it at the time. I think they paid like 30 or 40 million pounds for him. But Leeds producing young English strikers rather impressively, and they're now at 2 of the biggest clubs in world football. But that's the first time I've seen him appear in a game. We missed out on him to City way back when. Undai not having a good game. Khalid Francis, why not bring him on into a massive game like this? Our whole back four is not playing well, so let's freshen things up a little bit back there. 4-4 is just silly, but we've got the chance to make it 5 here. Plotnikov, I don't know why he's got the ball. Ribeiro, though, he should have the ball. Fiorentini is on a hat-trick. Ribeiro to Ziyech. Oscar! Vendrick was hovering around the City keeper as well there, and Eriksson gets above Chappell to head clear, but Chappell is in now. Oh, I don't know what happened there because the game glitched out, but somehow it didn't end up in the back of the net. I'm going to claim it was an Igor save, despite the fact I'd suggest it probably came back off the post. And it's finished 4-4. We're happy with that. We maintain our unbeaten start to the season. It's not almost as bad as doing a 6-6 to somebody, but we've gone away to City, who were the better team, and we've come away with a point, maintaining an 8-point lead at the top of the league. That'll do. That, in theory, was our hardest league game of the season, and we're still unbeaten after it. So, Invincible is on. Let's have a look at Chappell. There you go. Look, Burgess a few years earlier. 12 goals in 15 appearances for England. City paid £34.5 million for him. He's never really got into their team. There you go. It was his first appearance of the season and he grabbed a goal. But, yeah, we almost had him as well, but couldn't afford him at the time. Let's go and rotate the team a little bit and play Zenit in the Champions League. As promised, we've rotated as much as we realistically can. We don't have 11 completely different players that we can just bring into the team. The one who might feel a little bit hard done by it missing out is Steve May, but I don't really want to play Steve May and Burgess together in the Champions League. That seems like we're... Why am I'm so hot? It's so hot in here. I think my moustache is sweating. Yeah, don't want to play them together in the Champions League. So, our team for today, we've got Diaz in goal. A bit of a new look back four of Gordon, Owusu, Aribi and Francis. We have to play Aribi. He was ever present last year. He's on course to be ever present this year. I like the fact that he might just play in every game that was available to him since he joined the club. Sooner or later we'll have to stop doing it, but hopefully it won't be this year. Fiorentini, Medor and Wagner in midfield with Piero in behind Burgess and Vendrig. So if we hit submit, and we're already qualified from the group with 2 games to go. A win in this game will win us the group as well. So it would be rather handy to win and not go into the I think it's Real Madrid away is the last game. So we kind of want to be ahead of them and make it impossible for them to finish above us. A win doesn't necessarily, of course, put us top of the group because Real Madrid could beat Hearts. I understand how football works, honest. James Burgess has put us 1-0 up after 12 minutes. It's his 6th goal of the season. Not bad for your 4th choice striker, really. And it's a lovely little move again. Piero, I don't understand how he's only a 2-star player because he's involved in every attacking move when he's in the team. I think he's quite a promising youngster, and it might just be Lucas not really understanding what a good footballer looks like again. That is meaning he's only showing us 2 stars at the moment. But apparently James Burgess can hit a free kick as well as Ziyech or Sedman. We've seen some free kicks in these recent episodes, but look at this from Burgess. Dead centre, and just, there you go, stick it in the top corner. There's no way of knowing what corner he's going in from there. It's just an excellent free kick. Well played, James Burgess. 2 goals in this first half. Madrid are ahead against Hearts. Come on, Big Kev, do us a favour. We want Real Madrid to draw with Hearts so that we can go into our final game against them, able to fully rotate again. not desperately needing to go there and beat them. Fiorentini is in. Piero, I think, has just scored. That's his 4th goal of the season for a player who's played no more than about 5 games. I tell you, the man is not a 2-star football player. Wagner with the cross. Fiorentini getting in to try and score again. The keeper just sort of palms it away. And both Piero and Fiorentini are queuing up to tuck that one into the back of the net. And it's Piero who's now on a goal and an assist for a player who my assistant manager is convinced will never be good enough to even play in the Premier League. Here he is, tearing a team apart in the Champions League. Vendrick is the weakest player on the pitch, so Steve May can come on now. We'll switch him to target man, even though I always hate using a target man. But I quite like it when May does it. He looks quite impressive. And we're going to take off Medor. I don't really want to bring Ziyech on, but don't really have much choice. I guess it doesn't hurt to... We'll weaken the front line, but make the midfield stronger. It doesn't really matter, does it? And I'd like to see Steve May grab himself a Champions League goal. Piero's got his 2nd. Not a 2-star player, Lucas. When are we going to adjust this rating for Piero? Because he's having an absolutely brilliant game. Again. I've not seen the lad have a bad game yet. And that, I mean, that's just a solid header. Well played. I think it's Mario Piero. Yeah, Mario Piero. I'm going to look at him again after the game and just try and work out what Lucas is thinking, which is making him just decide he's not going to be any good. Fiorentini, we'll take Aribi off. Aribi can come off. Ericsson on, just to give Aribi a little bit of a rest, and takes our vice-captain off and replaces him with our captain. So that seems like an acceptable swap. Last chance for Steve May to grab a goal. Oh, he was in, but couldn't quite get there. Ericsson and Gordon, I don't know why they're hovering on the edge of the area, but we've won a free kick. Ziyech is going over to take it. The man is a monster. Burgess is on a hat-trick and has already shown he can score a beautiful free kick. It doesn't matter anyway because we don't even get to take it. But Mario Piero picks up man of the match. Lucas is still telling me he's just a good championship player. 2-star potential ability. Poor heading ability means he's never likely to be useful in aerial situations. The man just scored a header in the Champions League. I don't understand. He seems good to me. Perhaps I just don't understand Football Manager. Who'd have thought? He's never even got any under-21 caps for Spain. Madness. I don't understand. He's been playing well in the Championship for the last 4 years, and nowhere during that time did Spain think, oh, let's give him an under-21 cap. They're monsters. Look at that. He's having a cracking season. I don't know. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, please make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.